Welcome back to Weekly Huddle Podcast. I'm your host, Owen, and today I am actually not your host, Owen. I am your host, Santa Claus. GM Santa Claus, that is, as I'm going to be giving away one NFL draft prospect to every single team for Christmas in this upcoming NFL draft, who I think would fit perfectly with each team, and that each team, if gifted upon them, I think would be the most fun or the best fit for what I think they need. So I'm going to give it's not going to really matter, and these probably are not likely going to happen on draft day. It's just who I think would work best and what prospects would be the most fun on each specific team. So we're going to dive into it. I did do the Thanksgiving version of this, where it was which teams are thankful for. I guess it's like a week ago now to this day that I'm recording this. But today I'm going to do it in reverse order I did in that video. In that video, I went A to Z. A to W, I guess, and today I'm going to go from W to A. So, Arizona fans, you heard your team first last time, now you're last this time. So, apologies, but, you always get to be first in all these articles and stuff. So, you know what? It's time for Washington to get its due to go first. So, first up is the Washington football team. We have Desmond Ridder, quarterback, Cincinnati. Washington is coached by Ron Rivera, and he had Cam Newton for a while, and he is, well versed in those kind of quarterbacks. There were even rumors that Cam Newton would go with Ron Rivera in Washington. Taylor Heinicke is a good, not great quarterback. He does what the team needs him to do. But Desmond Ridder has Taylor Heinicke's athleticism, except he's a little more athletic than him. He's got a better arm, and he just brings a different dimension to this offense that Heinicke doesn't really bring right away, or has a higher ceiling than Heinicke. And I think that Ridder can stand from being on the bench for a season or two, which is they have Heinicke for another 2 seasons after this year, so under contract, that is. So Heinicke can be their starter, their bridge starter, while Ridder chills on the bench and learns from behind him, and then eventually takes over for the starting role and becomes that franchise quarterback that he's from Cincinnati, that the Washington football team really do need. The Tennessee Titans are up next, and I'm going to give them Darian Kinnard, guard/right tackle out of Kentucky. They have Dylan Raduns playing right tackle right now, and Kinnard plays right tackle for Kentucky, but I think he's athletically more a guard. But I can't imagine, it doesn't matter what place. You put him at a guard, you put him at right tackle, it doesn't matter. If you put Darian Kinnard, this gigantic, just beast of a man, he looks like he's easily the largest and strongest player on the field, not named Aaron Donald, on any field he touches on. As soon as he enters the league, he's so big, so strong, he's just a monster. He's thick, he's tall, he's literally just a boulder that can roll you over. And you put him out there and then just have Derrick Henry take it up behind him on a power scheme every single play, you're guaranteed 4 or 5 yards a pop. So it just would be unfair to have this giant brute of a run blocker with the best, running back in the NFL who is all power, all size. Same thing with the blocker who will be in front of him. So I just think it would just make that run game totally unfair, and it's just a fun combination, in my opinion. Up next is Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They will get Devin Lloyd, linebacker out of Utah. I just can't imagine a world where they have, for at least a season, Devin Lloyd, Devin White, and Levante David all in the linebacking core. They wouldn't have to run anything less than 3 linebackers at all. Who needs nickel at that point? Levante David is one of the best pass coverage linebackers, and his deal is a 5-year deal technically, but it's really structured to be a 2 or 3 year deal to be able to get cut off afterwards because how the cap was this past season. And then I can just a linebacker duo of Devin Lloyd and Devin White is just so salivating to think about, and it's just unfair to be the best linebacker duo in the league for the next 7 to 10 years. It would be insane. Again, this probably won't happen. Devin Lloyd's not going to fall that far. But, hey, Santa just gives teams what they wish for, and the Bucs wish for the best linebacker duo the league has seen in a decade plus. And for this upcoming Christmas, I will give the Seattle Seahawks quarterback Matt Corral out of Ole Miss. Russell Wilson's most likely done in Seattle, and they're going to need someone who can go out there and be a very creative playmaker out of structure, who doesn't need a lot to succeed around him, and that's what Matt Corral has shown flashes of this year. He's not an elite quarterback by any means, but if you're trying to get the closest thing to Russell Wilson that you can out of this draft, I think Matt Corral is your best bet out of this crop, and they're going to probably need a replacement right away. And he's going to be probably quarterback 1 by the end of the draft process. I still hold on hope for Malik Willis, but Matt Corral brings that skill set that you're losing in Russell Wilson. He's not going to bring nearly the amount of talent and NFL readiness that Russell Wilson has right now, but I think trying to fix that problem with my magical Santa powers, Matt Corral is the best option there. The San Francisco 49ers get Treylon Burks, wide receiver out of Arkansas. We see what they can do with Deebo Samuel. Treylon Burks is like Deebo Samuel on steroids. He's so big. He's great with the ball in his hands, running after the catch. He has worked out of the backfield, gotten handoffs, gotten sweeps, gotten short touches, screen passes. He takes wildcat snaps. He is insane. He can win at the point of attack. His route running is good. It's good. It's not terrible, but it's not his best trait. And he just is this offensive chess piece. You move around, and I would love to see what Kyle Shanahan could do with him, Deebo Samuel, and Trey Lance on an offense. And then you have Brandon Ayuk as like your typical receiver, and George Kittle. I would love to see what Shanahan would be able to do with him. I don't know if they're going to draft him in the first round, which is probably where he's going to go. So this one's, again, not likely. But that's not what we're doing here. We're just trying to talk about just some fun combinations we'd like to see. And speaking of fun combinations that would never happen in real life, the Pittsburgh Steelers here are not drafting, but being gifted for Christmas, Aiden Hutchinson, edge out of Michigan. An honorary Watt brother. He looks and plays like an honorary Watt brother. I will hear nothing about it. And putting him next to TJ Watt on the defensive front for the Steelers is fucking sane. I can't even fathom what it would look like. You'd have to wait for like a Pro Bowl to see that if he gets drafted to the AFC, because that is phenomenal to think of. And it's like I said, he's an honorary Watt member, and Pittsburgh, thrives on defense. And Watt, whenever he's out, their defense kind of falls off. They could use a secondary pass rusher. I just think that it just is such a perfect match made in heaven that won't happen because Hutchinson is just too fucking amazing. Philadelphia gets gifted Drake Jackson, edge out of USC. Versatile piece on the defensive line. It has the athleticism to flex out and check wide receivers if need be. Now, his run game defense and his variety of pass rush moves could use a little bit of improvement, especially his counters there. But I think that the Eagles, who are losing some more pass rush, could really hang their hat next season on strong defense while letting Jalen Hurts, just do enough to let them win. And, replenishing the pass rushers. The Eagles in the past have shown that pass rush is what they favor more over coverage. So replenishing that, pairing them up with Fletcher Cox and the other boatload of talent they have on the edge and in the interior there would just be really fun to watch. And it would be one of the most dominant, overall defensive lines up there with like Washington and the Aiden Hutchinson Pittsburgh Steelers to boot. I don't think anything could beat that though. Casey Hayward, Aiden Hutchinson. Wrong team. It's the Eagles. Drake Jackson. I know they have Derek Barnett, I believe, if he's still under contract. Montez Sweat is on Washington. Josh Sweat and Cox. So I just think that'd be a great combination there, and it's a realistic one. This is one of our realistic ones. Staying with realistic ones, New York Jets take Evan Neal, offensive tackle out of Alabama. He could play guard, right tackle, left tackle. He's played them all at Alabama. But imagine him 6'8" with Mekhi Becton, you'd have the biggest offensive line in the NFL, and they're both good and nimble on their feet. They have good movement for large boys, and you could just bulldoze everybody, and you keep Zach Wilson safe. So another realistic one that I think just makes the most sense of any pick they could make there. I know their secondary needs help, but they've been better. So I think that just creating this skyscraper of an offensive line, I think gifting them Evan Neal for Christmas would be the perfect gift under the tree, even though he wouldn't fit under the tree. He is literally the tree. That's how large this man is. Sticking with realistic... Oh, wow. My tongue has failed me. It has betrayed me. Sticking with realistic offensive line gifts, I am gifting the New York Giants Tyler Linderbaum, center out of Iowa, a top 5, top 7 player in this class. And the Giants have been trying to fix this offensive line for so long, and I can guarantee you if they draft Tyler Linderbaum and have him as the the centerpiece, the part that brings everyone together, his intelligence, his movement skills, his ability to use leverage and wrestling strategy and IQ and bring it to the football field and out-muscle guys who are 30 pounds heavier than him despite him being only 290. He can move these NFL weight guys. I think that having him being your fulcrum of your offensive line would really pull all those pieces together. They have some nice pieces: Andrew Thomas, Matt Pert, Will Hernandez. They still have Nate Solder there. I think they have the pieces to have a good offensive line. They're lacking in the center department, and I think that having this smart, intelligent, insane mobility fulcrum would be immensely favorable and would help protect whoever they have playing quarterback, whether that's Daniel Jones or not, and help Saquon Barkley have room to run. When you watch Tyler Linderbaum, he just moves at a different speed than anybody else on the defensive line and the offensive line, even faster than some linebackers and some running backs. I can just imagine him just moving out and picking up a block for Saquon Barkley out on the edge and just taking guys over with his quickness and just sealing the edge for Saquon Barkley, who just breaks off 90-yard runs. So I'm gifting him to the Giants. Now, this, I believe, is a match made in heaven. I am gifting for Christmas to the New Orleans Saints Kenny Pickett, quarterback out of Pitt. Taysom Hill, he's probably more of a gadget player than a quarterback at this point. James Winston tore his ACL. Who knows if he'll be back for the Saints anyways, but even then back to what he was before that even happened. Trevor Siemian is the answer. Kenny Pickett, Mr. Two Gloves, whose hands are too small to hold up in the weather. You know what doesn't have to hold up in the weather? The Saints team, because they're in a dome. So Kenny doesn't have to worry about that, and he can just grip the ball all he wants because there's no rain, there's no snow going to affect him in home games. And you know what? If he goes out and it is a bad weather game against another AFC South team, if it's raining, or if he goes up north, hand the ball to Alvin Kamara. It's short slants to Michael Thomas. He doesn't have to try to throw the ball deep if he can't grip the ball. So I think it works perfectly with who they have there already, where they play, and the need at quarterback they have. So I am gifting Kenny Pickett to the New Orleans Saints. The New England Patriots will draft Kyer Elam, cornerback out of Florida. They have let go of Stephon Gilmore, and having that 1-2 punch of elite corners, and Kyer Elam is the New England corners. He's not particularly adept at zone as of right now, but as a man corner who is large, I believe he's like 6'3", with good movement skills, that's something that Belichick would just say, go play man coverage and we'll throw all these funky looking blitzes and different styles of fronts at these quarterbacks and confuse them, and you just run with these people. And then you can play physical, get picks, and that's what Kyer Elam can do and does do in the NCAA. Well, he did. The season's over now, but you get what I mean. So Merry Christmas to England. I'm giving you another elite corner to pair with J.C. Jackson, even though you just had Stephon Gilmore with him. Life isn't fair, but I don't care. I'm Santa Claus. Fuck my Buffalo Bills because of that. Sticking with corners, the Minnesota Vikings, I am gifting you Derek Stingley, cornerback out of LSU. You have Patrick Peterson, another LSU guy. But, I mean, your corners are still below average, and you get thrown all over. So I think that instead of having to win shootouts every game, or relying on Dalvin Cook to just kill all the clock in the world, being able to stop the pass and kill clock is a good way to win some games other than just, throwing the ball over the yard and then still losing because you're still only within one score despite throwing for 400 yards and 3 touchdowns, Kirk Cousins. So there could have been a quarterback here, but they drafted Kellen Mond, and I don't really think any quarterbacks here are an immediate upgrade over Kellen Mond as of tomorrow. So I'm going to stick with this corner, which is almost one of the most sure things athletically and intelligent-wise at the cornerback position, and has Patrick Peterson learned from over there. So Derek Stingley to the Minnesota Vikings. I am gifting you for Christmas to the Minnesota Vikings. The Miami Dolphins. I am gifting you Brandon Smith, linebacker out of Penn State. Athletic freak, can blitz off the edge, blitz up the middle, moves so fast. I think he's like 230, but can run like 4.3, 4.4. It's pretty insane. So just this athletic freak at linebacker. Miami's very weak in the linebacker core, and just having someone like this in a Brian Flores scheme defense, which is kind of that Belichick kind of thing, I think this would fit perfectly for that kind of system and that kind of style they want to run with their linebackers. The Los Angeles Rams, I'm giving them Jackson Kirkland, offensive tackle out of Washington. Andrew Whitworth is old as crap. I don't even know if he's their left tackle anymore. If he is, I think he's hurt. I think he might have retired at this point. And I think it's Joseph Noteboom is another tackle they have starting. He's good, but having someone who is so adept at just pass blocking, and that's what the Rams do best, is throw the ball. They have Matt Stafford and all these offensive passing weapons. Yes, they have good running backs when they're healthy, but I think that passing the ball is what they got to hang their hat on, especially with who their coach is, who their quarterback is, and they just gave up all of this for their quarterback. Protecting him, and one of the most natural pass blockers in the past few drafts comes out with Jackson Kirkland. Despite him not being the most powerful of run blockers, he definitely knows his way around a pass block, so it fits perfectly what they were trying to do and succeed with over there in Los Angeles. Sticking with LA, the Chargers I'm gifting them. I keep forgetting that. But this one is kind of realistic as well. Jordan Davis, D-tackle out of Georgia. They've been trying and failing to find that guy in the middle of their defensive line for like 5 years. It was Jerry Tillery, and then a bunch of random cast-offs and free agents and things like that. Jordan Davis is just a monster in the middle. He may not be the most athletic player, but for his size, he's pretty athletic, and he can just disrupt things, and he's explosive, and he's 350 pounds, and you put him there, he's going to demand double and triple teams, and that leaves your Bosa brother one-on-one the entire game. So I think it's just a thing that needs to be done. Chargers, make this move. I'm gifting to you right now as Santa Claus, but you need to make this move right away. Las Vegas, Jameson Williams, wide receiver at Alabama, replacing one speedy wide receiver from Alabama with another. Jameson Williams is really shot up boards, and I think that, drafting high, talented, really combine special players from big-time schools isn't just a John Gruden and Mike Mayock thing. It's been a thing for the Raiders in the past, and it will continue to be that thing in the future, so grabbing them, someone who's going to run super well in the 40-yard dash from a big school, Jameson Williams, Alabama. Kansas City Chiefs, Jahan Dotson, wide receiver out of Penn State. Pairing Jahan Dotson, who's this 5'11 wide receiver, but plays like he's 6'3", and has speed, and can moss guys, and has the hops, and has a route running, pair him with Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce, gives them just game-breaking wide receivers everywhere in the field, on the slot, on the outside, no matter what, and it just wouldn't be fair. It's just adding more weapons to that offense is not fair. And, originally it was going to be a safety here, but it's like they finally have given Juan Thornhill some playing time, and he's doing better than Daniel Sorensen. So, don't really need to put a safety here. So, Jahan Dotson, wide receiver, Penn State. Suck it, rest of the league, I guess. Jacksonville, I bestow upon you the gift of the best player in this draft class, Kyle Hamilton, safety out of Notre Dame. Absolute chess piece. Just get rid of your head coach and let somebody come in who is a defensive-minded dude to let, if you boost that defense up, which has talent on it, and let Trevor Lawrence have close games to play in instead of having to just fight his way out of every blowout, then, yeah, I think it's going to be better for him in the long run. And having a guy like Kyle Hamilton is just like this elite play. He's the Kyle Pitts of safeties. Or he's a unicorn. You will never see anything like him ever again at the position, at least for a long time. And I think drafting him or not drafting him would be a mistake, even how high up it is, despite positional value. Don't overthink this, Jacksonville. He's the best player here. Indianapolis, I gift you literally T.Y. Hilton 2.0 and Terrell Bynum, wide receiver out of Washington. There is no way you can continue putting T.Y. Hilton out there on the field and expecting any different results from what you've already seen. He's old, he's banged up, and you need somebody to help complement Michael Pittman on the outside. Putting a slot wide receiver like Terrell Bynum on the field, literally, like I said, is literally T.Y. Hilton 2.0. He's a crafty route runner, has the juice after the catch, has good hands, is smart with his decisions on where to stop in the holes and things like that, and how to work with his quarterback. So, Terrell Bynum, wide receiver, Washington, to the Indianapolis Colts to complement that run game, Michael Pittman, and the pieces they already have there. The Houston Texans. This one was hard because they need everything. But I decided they need to build an identity, and they have some offensive line pieces, so I'm going to give them Isaiah Spiller, running back out of Texas A&M. They've had 17 different running backs that they've all cut now, like Phillip Lindsay and Mark Ingram and Rex Burkhead and this and that and this and that. Get Isaiah Spiller in there. Establish you're a strong running game kind of team. Maybe, build up your defense a little more in free agency and make that your identity. You need to find an identity. Isaiah Spiller gives you an identity. this is the kind of player you need, and I'm gifting him to you for free. Here, take this Isaiah Spiller. He will run for 1,000 yards in his rookie season. Just let him do his thing. The Green Bay Packers, I am gifting you Ikem Ekwonu, offensive tackle at NC State. Made giant leaps after switching from guard to tackle last season. He has made gigantic leaps in progress in this season, and he's projected to make even bigger leaps. So I think he's going to go pretty early on in this draft where Green Bay is not going to really have a chance at him. But being able to replace the old guard at offensive line to be able to come in and protect Jordan Love now that Aaron Rodgers is going to be gone is something that needs to be a priority, and Ikem Ekwonu fixes that issue right away. He does everything so good, and he's only going to get better. That is my gift onto you, Green Bay. The Detroit Lions, Drake London, wide receiver, USC. You got rid of Kenny Golladay, and you have these route runners like Amon-Ra St. Brown and all these, and who's the guy? Quentin Cephas, that's the other one I'm thinking of. But you don't have that physical, dominant, number one X receiver, and that is what Drake London is. I don't know if you're going to be able to snag him in the top of the second round, but if you can, or in the bottom of the first round because you have the Rams pick, I would say can't do it if you can. But I'm gifting him to you right now because he just fills a need on that offense that you don't have. You have some decent running backs. You're stuck with Jared Goff at quarterback for now. You have some good route runners and slot players. Getting that physically dominant X receiver is just something you need to grab, and it's realistic for you guys to grab him. So I mean, it's not that outlandish to gift him here to you, but I think it just fits the bill perfectly. And I mean, I know there's defensive players, but you have a lot of picks, so just go with defense, the rest of them. But make sure you grab, if you can, in the real draft, Drake London. But right now, Merry Christmas. Denver Broncos, I gift you Samuel Howell. I don't even know if he goes by Samuel, if that's what it's short for. I'm assuming it is. Quarterback out of North Carolina. Literally Baker Mayfield 2.0. If the Broncos don't get Aaron Rodgers or Russell Wilson or Deshaun Watson or whatever other quarterback they're linked to this offseason, getting a guy, because the Broncos are good. All they need is somebody who can, create plays down the field with his accuracy and distribute to their playmakers. That's what Sam Howell does to a T, more perfect than anybody in this draft class, even Kenny Pickett. So putting him out there, and he has this running ability that he's been able to show off now, which I didn't really see him having at the beginning of the season. I think it just comes in, adds the kind of player you need at the quarterback position. Imagine Baker Mayfield on the Broncos. Imagine how good the Broncos would be if healthy Baker Mayfield was playing for them. That's what you get with Sam Howell. So, Merry Christmas, Denver. Go win a Super Bowl because you have a Super Bowl caliber roster. You just need the quarterback. And I think you can't get any better than the quarterback for that system than Sam Howell. Whew. Dallas, I gift you Daxton Hill, safety out of Michigan. True athletic difference maker at safety. You don't have to keep putting DeMonte Casey out there. Track star in the backfield. Is able to cover over top while Trayvon Diggs tries to undercut routes. Doesn't matter what happens. He's going to beat the guys to their ball there because he's so fast, so quick. He's dynamic as an athlete, and you've been looking for this elite safety for forever. You have the elite corner. He's getting there. He's a ball hawk. I'll give you that. He's a ball hawk, but he needs to work on his coverage. But you have dynamic safety, dynamic corner, dynamic linebacker, dynamic edge rusher if he can ever, show up. And you have a good offensive firepower. So, I mean, what else could you ask for? Merry Christmas. Here you go. Daxton Hill, safety out of Michigan. Draft him in real life. See what happens. Cleveland, you traded, you cut Odell Beckham Jr., your best route runner. You have Jarvis Landry in a slot. You have Donovan Peoples-Jones. You have these other weapons. And I know you're not like a big-time passing offense anyway. But Chris Olave is the immediate fit for your lack of route running now that OBJ is gone. He is so crisp, so smooth with his routes, and you set him up with a heavy play-action system where you're just running the ball over and over and over again and letting him keep going out there and block, and all of a sudden now he just shakes a dude with his route running, run some RPOs with him. Oh my God, he'd fit perfectly in his offense. He'd fill that. He's not as athletic or good after the catch as OBJ, but as a player who fills that route runner in your offense, fills the mold perfectly. Draft him, Cleveland. You got to. Cincinnati. I know your offensive line has gelled pretty well this season, but I don't trust Riley Reeve past this season. I don't even trust him right now. I don't know how he's doing it. Charles Cross, offensive tackle, Mississippi State. I gift him to you. Natural pass blocker in the Mike Leach system, is elite at pass blocking. Maybe not as elite as Jackson Kirkland, but he's up there. He's pretty close. And he has the run blocking that Jackson Kirkland doesn't bring. Cincinnati, if you can somehow nail and nab Charles Cross in real life, you have won the first round. You get an A from me. But right now, it's probably not going to happen. So for a Christmas gift, I will gift him to you in your thoughts and in your mind right now. You're welcome. Merry Christmas from GM Santa Claus. The Chicago Bears. Now this one, depending on how slept on he is because of how people view this position, he might fall the second round. I really doubt it, though, because he's so good. Kenyan Green, guard out of Texas A&M, can play tackle, just offensive line flexibility, amazing offensive lineman. Nothing really elite about him, but he's just so good at everything. And you need Justin Fields to be protected. You have some weapons with Allen Robinson. You can afford to invest in the offensive line, and you need to do that to protect Justin Fields and capitalize on this good defense you still have, even though they're aging. Get some good offensive linemen. Kenyan Green, I gift you to him. He won't be there in the second round, most likely, so this is the one time you'll get him on your roster, because I am Santa Claus. Now you can go to sleep tonight dreaming of, what are those, like sugar plums and Kenyan Green on your offensive line. Oh, it's so delicious. Carolina, you need a difference maker at quarterback. You targeted Deshaun Watson. I see. You like high athleticism. May I offer Malik Willis for free? Quarterback Liberty. Merry Christmas. The best runner coming out of the draft since Lamar Jackson. It's if you put Lamar Jackson's athleticism and Kyler Murray with Kyler Murray's arm strength. And he's basically shorter, more athletic Josh Allen. Great arm strength, wild in accuracy. Need to clean up his mechanics badly. But if you do, you can unlock something special there. And Carolina needs that kind of guy. Maybe he's not going. Maybe it'll take another year or so for you to win some games. But I think putting him in the system and adding him with Christian McCaffrey whenever he gets healthy, it's going to be like what they thought him and Cam Newton were going to be, except if Cam Newton could still throw the ball. All right, last four teams here. Buffalo Bills. I gift you Trent McDuffie, cornerback out of Washington. My comp for him is Tre'Davious White. Who just went down with the ACL tear? Tre'Davious White. Even if Tre'Davious White comes back from his injury and is the same Tre'Davious White we know, imagine having two Trey Whites on that defense. Oh my God, I am orgasming at the thought. That might not make the final cut. You know what? Fuck it. It's Christmas, there's snow everywhere. I'm leaving it in. Merry Christmas, me. I want this pick more than anything in the world, and I'm gifting it to myself. I can't wait for this to not actually be a thing and for me to be pissed. Baltimore takes George Karlaftis, edge out of Purdue. He's getting a lot of traction. I'm still on him as like a late first-round pick. Baltimore might have a late first-round pick. He is like Calais Campbell 2.0, and Baltimore currently employs Calais Campbell. And they like those gigantic-bodied dudes who can reduce down inside to D tackles, but also playing outside on the edge and win with power, and let their outside linebacker edge rushers like F.A. Obata, not F.A. Obata, Owen. I don't know what his new name is. I forget what he wants to be called. Karlaftis would just open up all the holes for Owen. They may not need another edge rusher like that, but I just can't imagine him and Calais Campbell playing on the same D line with Owen. And whoever else they have rushing the passer, I think Tyus Bowser is doing pretty good this season. It would just be salivating, and it's just he is a Baltimore Ravens kind of guy. Final two here: Atlanta, DeMarvin Leal, D tackle at Texas A&M. I just want to see him play next to Grady Jarrett. Two athletically gifted D tackles who would just wreck the inside and could play inside out. But if you had them both line up at guards in a wide 9 formation. Oh, mother of holy God. The center could not move fast enough to pick up either one of these guys. And whoever you pick up to try to double team, if you successfully do so, you lead another guy one-on-one, they're wrecking whoever their quarterback is. There's no pocket to speak of. So I think this would just be fun to watch, is DeMarvin Leal with Grady Jarrett on that D-line. And finally, the Arizona Cardinals, Jaleel Billingsley, tight end out of Alabama. You brought in Zach Ertz, but that's a temporary solution for a permanent problem. Jaleel Billingsley is Kyle Pitts light, super good receiver at the tight end position, crisp route running, good hands. Not the best blocker, but Arizona doesn't really incorporate. You have Max Williams. No, you don't. He's not Carolina. I don't remember where Max went. Maybe he's on Jags now. I don't remember. All I know is you have tight ends like Zach Ertz, and you have other guys on your team that you can be that blocking tight end if you really want to. But adding Jaleel Billingsley with DeAndre Hopkins and Kyler Murray and Christian Kirk and Andy Isabella and AJ Green if he's still there and this and that, Rondale Moore, just the amount of weapons and the amount of pass catchers you would have, But anyway, Santa is done. Santa is done gifting these people these amazing gifts. Hopefully, everyone gets what they got today. I know Pittsburgh won't, but you know what? A boy can dream. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. I had a fun time doing it. This is my therapy for myself because I want to go die in a hole because of school. So I need to record this for myself late at night to make myself feel better. So I hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed making this. I was kind of goofy with it. But you know what? I am having fun with this channel and I like this concept. So anybody who has a problem with it, I don't care. It doesn't bother me. So I think these are all great fits. And go check the Dynasty Index. You can check all my breakdowns for every single one of these players. I have one for every single one of these players already up there. So does Caleb, Keel Pro 88 for most of these skill player positions. So go check that out. Message him on Twitter if you want to get interested. If you're interested, $3 a month, $20 for the year. Other than that, I'm out.